Soviet medics performed like every other medic during World War II. They carried the standard small arms and corresponding ammo pouch for personal defense and the protection of the wounded. And, of course, each of them carried the proper Red Army medic bag. Every Soviet rifle company had at least one paramedic soldier trained in first aid to wounded and evacuation of them from the battlefield. The Soviet medics had very interesting techniques to extract wounded comrades. One technique is to lay the wounded on a palatka or a medic's strap, and 2 to 4 medics carry him away. The palatka may also be used by only one medic to drag the wounded on the ground. The strap is best utilized by 2 medics, but can also be used solo if the medic was strong enough. Field camps had medical companies with some facilities for help on the spot, and there was a system of sorting the injured by their condition with the view to distribute workload of assistance between the local medics of the units and the hospitals in the rear. Mass transportation of injured inland was done in prepared dedicated trains marked with Red Cross. It is interesting to note that one of the most common jobs held by Soviet women in the Red Army was the combat medic. They are not to be confused with nurses, medical assistants and doctors working in the field hospitals. Medics were armed and part of the infantry. They were expected to participate in the battle when not treating the wounded. They carried their comrades off the battlefield and administered medical aid, all while under fire. There were approximately 800,000 women who served in the Soviet armed forces during World War II, which is roughly 5% of the total military personnel. Of the medical personnel in the Red Army, 40% of paramedics, 43% of surgeons, 46% of doctors, 57% of medical assistants, and almost 100% of nurses were women. One of them was Maria Boroshenko, whose life clearly demonstrates the danger and challenges what these female combat medics had to face on a daily basis. When the war broke out, she enrolled in the nursing school. As the Germans advanced to Kiev, she escaped. Gathering valuable information, she passed along to the 5th Airborne Brigade. With her intelligence, they were able to destroy some of the German artillery. So Maria proved useful as a scout and a medic, so the 5th Airborne allowed her to accompany them. In addition to her medical knowledge, she demonstrated that she could also handle weapons, firing on the battlefield as she treated the wounded. Later, in an interview, she said, "Altogether, I carried 481 soldiers from under fire. One of the journalists counted them up, a whole infantry battalion. We hold men 2 or 3 times our weight. When they are wounded, they are still heavier. So you hoist some 180 pounds on your back and carry it. Unload it and go for the next one." Boroshenko continued to prove her skills as a medic, as a scout. In September of 1941, while on a scouting mission, she captured 10 German soldiers single-handedly and provided intelligence back to her superiors. Boroshenko's final battle was in July of 1943. According to the reports, after knocking out an advancing tank with an anti-tank grenade, she was killed by shrapnel shielding a wounded officer. in 1965, she received the Hero of the Soviet Union award. The training of these medics was high-level and professional in the Soviet Union. St. Petersburg has the National Military Medical Academy that started in the 19th century and has all civilian and military medical departments as a large teaching hospital. Medical students of civilian medical universities have been trained as Army Medical Reserve officers, and students of the non-degree Nurses College as Army nurses.